final program in the New American Cinema series. Our guest today is the critic, P. Adam Sitney, who's also the author of a book, a virgin book, hot off the press, which we just happen to have 2 copies of, called Visionary Film, published by Oxford University Press. This is so new that I haven't had a chance to read it. I've looked through it briefly. Have you read it? Good. I'm glad one of us has read it.
A while ago.
Glad one of us has read it. But I noticed that in what I did manage to read, that you made what I think a very useful distinction between the kind of film that we've been attempting to get a feeling for in this series and the kind of film that we're more used to seeing, the feature, narrative, or documentary film. And you phrased the difference as being one of radical otherness. And I wonder if we could explore for a few minutes in what that radical otherness consists.
Well, that was partially a response to a need to define for the publishers in the preface of the book certain questions, such as whether or not the avant-garde film has been influenced by the Hollywood film, or whether, more importantly, it has had an influence on the Hollywood film, which are questions that are often very popular but not very much to the point. I mean, one could make certain cases of the influence of someone like Kenneth Anger in his film Scorpio Rising on a film like Electric Light and Blue, but those are not very profound connections. The essential difference, which is the difference between, in a crude way, between most of what we take to be prose and most of what we take to be poetry, seems to be this, that the commercial film is a totally illusionary and totally seductive mechanism. The traditional commercial film makes you forget that you're at a movie. It pulls you into the screen. All of the devices are arranged so that you believe that what is happening on the screen has a certain degree of fictive reality, and that you forget that shots are individual takes of the camera, that splices are arbitrary decisions of a director. On the other hand, the kind of cinema that you've been dealing with in this program is a cinema which openly declares its own rhetorical structures. If, in a Brakhage film, for instance, he seeks a visual metaphor for death, it is clearly defined as a metaphor. It is clearly indicated as a cinematic device, such as the use of negative. There's no intention or no structural hiding of the very presence of the raw cinematic material. It's a kind of cinema, in fact, that every time it makes a statement about something outside of cinema, about life, birth, death, attempts to make that statement in terms of some aspect of the materials itself, so that the meditations on the basic concerns of human beings coincides to some extent with a meditation on the limitations and the powers of cinematic material itself. I realize that sounds a little complicated, but that is the difference between poetry and prose as I conceived it in the cinema.